Holy lib energy. Woke is back on the mini, baby. What the I don't believe Disney Plus, Hulu, etc. lost 1.7 million subscribers because of Jimmy Kimmel. Disney Plus was dropped by 3 million US subscribers in September, while 4.1 million canceled Hulu. Oh my God. It turns out liberals do not play around, brother. They do not play around with their Jimmy Kimmel. It turns out, holy moly, that is, wow. Stay woke, don't go broke is right. Oh my God. Go anti-woke and you will go broke. God damn. God damn. Woke is back. Woke is back. Woke is back. Woke is so back. Woke is on the menu, dude. Woke is on the menu. It turns out for the treatlerites, you take their treats away and they will respond. They will respond in a way. The treatlerite vanguard, dude. Oh my Lord. My friend's millennial mom, who's kind of left of lib, canceled her Spotify subscription because it plays ICE ads. Woke is making a comeback. I live in rural Tennessee, by the way. Yeah, woke is making a comeback. Look at the No Kings protest. That's all woke shit. That's all like 65-year-olds being like, we have to start combating fascism militarily and shit. Sure, there are a lot of like incredible liberal elements within. There are a lot of incredible liberal elements within the No Kings protest, for sure. But I'm telling you right now, the boomer coalition the boomer bloc is infinitely more radicalized than you think they are, but they just don't have the mechanism to communicate their anger. They don't have the tools to be able to say like, this is what I want, because of a lifetime of Red Scare propaganda, which is why I said it is silly to cast aside any sort of protest or any sort of movement, mobilization like this and poo-poo it from afar. Okay. I'm telling you, there are a lot of people out there who recognize everything that's going on as like completely untenable, completely inappropriate, and abhorrent. Okay? Bro, come on, it's a gathering, not a protest. They just want blue team to win so they can get back to that apathetic Twinkie consumption. Be for real. Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen, are there people who just want that? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I don't think you realize how much more the average liberal has moved in the direction of like demanding that they have like a fighter, a democratic socialist or a social democrat in a country where like this was impossible. Okay. This was impossible to fathom, especially for boomers. I'm saying if we do not use this momentum to our advantage and take away all of that interest that people clearly have in changing things, into organizing, into developing class consciousness, then what is the alternative? My point is, and has always been, if you build it, people will come. Okay? And in the absence of building anything, all you are doing is chirping into the wind. You're not doing anything. You're just saying like, ugh, these guys just suck. You just want to come across like you're right. You are reframing a cynical and nihilistic perspective as real activism. Okay? I'm not saying that the No Kings protests ultimately are going to single-handedly change discourse or change the dynamic of this administration, but expressing discontent and mobilizing in this fashion, even if it's for basically a parade, implies that there are people out there who recognize right from wrong, okay, who are willing to go out in the streets, and also on top of that are looking for something different, an alternative vision, because they're also, a lot of those people are also upset with the Democrats anyway. It's that simple. And if you look at the trend lines in socialism, amongst the Democrats in general, socialism support is at an all-time high among the Democratic Party since 2010. Democrats are now saying that they are sympathetic towards socialism at 60+%. There are 16% of Republicans that are sympathetic to socialism. I don't know who the those guys are, okay? I need to understand the mindset of those dudes. But like, this in a country like the United States of America is crazy. This in a country like the United States of America is unheard of. A lot of people don't realize that the United States of America is the imperial core. This is where the anti-socialist sentiment bred, okay? Post-World War II, we took on the task from the fascists, and we made it our number one cause, because fascists rose to power when socialism was at its peak, okay? Post-industrial revolution, the way that commodity production was designed at the time with factory lines and the assembly lines made it so perfect for people to radicalize. You had the peasant class in the countryside. That was a little bit harder to get together, but ultimately there were so many different initiatives that created a movement of socialism that we haven't seen since, okay? You had successful revolutions, right? You had the successful revolution in the most unlikely place, in Russia. It was supposed to be Germany, okay? Even Lenin would agree, right? It was supposed to be Germany, and Germany was this close, Italy as well. And there were mistakes that were made along the way, but ultimately, given the undemocratic structure of a lot of these countries, the liberals were too fearful of allowing society to go through this radical transformation at the hands of revolutionaries, and they were at the mercy of the fascists, who said, our number one op is socialists. We will kill them. We will fight them. We will enact vigilante justice upon them. Anytime there's a strike happening anywhere, whether it be the peasants in the countryside or whether it be the industrialists and the trade unionists in the big cities, we will brutalize them. And all of the petite bourgeoisie and all of the large capital owners decided those are our guys. They will actually do everything to stop this movement, to stop this momentum. And they leaned into it. And that's how fascism blew the up until it had to be put down militarily. And that wasn't even for the United States of America and for the rest of the Allied forces, with the exception of the USSR. That wasn't necessarily done because of an ideological difference. It's not like they hated fascism. It's that they hated the expansion that the fascist governments were engaging in. Having said that, we don't have any of that right now, because in the aftermath of World War II, America very quickly decided our real ops are actually socialists and communists. Our real ops are the USSR. Our real ops is the specter that is haunting Europe. And they did everything in their power to make sure that fascists came back into positions of power in Western European liberal democracies. They did everything in their power to combat any sort of movement or any sort of initiative and stamp out any sort of socialist predisposition, socialist tendency, okay? And they successfully did that. And America, which never had as robust a socialist movement as any of these European countries anyway, was at the heart of that anti-socialist movement. So for Americans now to, without any class consciousness whatsoever, being the most heavily propagandized proletariat out there, to finally come to terms on their own due to the severity of the income and wealth disparity crisis that is imminent, crisis that they're facing, that is a gift. That is a gift for all of us. It's a gift for organizing. But instead of locking in at a time when the liberal left flank party is at its weakest and the right-wing reactionary party is very actively moving away from liberalism towards fascism, and that is creating a lot of discontent, instead of locking in and using this as an opportunity to organize, we're just fighting amongst ourselves over petty shit. At least that's the way I see it. And this kind of stuff gives me more confidence than ever before. Today's CNN poll reports that almost 1 in 5 American adults consider themselves democratic socialists, almost the same number who say they're a part of the MAGA movement. Is anti-imperialism petty shit though? No, it's not. The expression of anti-imperialism that many people engage in, however, with no reasonable alternative, is oftentimes disagreements born out of marginal disagreements that explode. And it's a byproduct of just being online, I think. Also, it's ironic because at least like at the time, it wasn't, I don't think it was, I mean, I guess it was still considered anti-imperialism, but like at the time, the no war but class war position during World War I was a formative part of socialist organizing. So there is that as well. And that was a major issue and a major point of contention among socialists, historical socialists as well. Some who said, you know, we have to engage in these sorts of wars, and found themselves at the mercy of nationalistic sentiment. and then maybe even moved on and then potentially created movements like fascism. I got too much Mussolini, son of the century, on the mind when I talk about this stuff. Karl Marx's brain would have exploded when learning that Germany was not leading the fight for Marxist political and economical thought, but rather the damn Russians and the peasants and Chinese. Yeah, I mean, it happens. Sometimes it happens in unfathomable and unforeseeable ways. But anyway, my point is, and always will be, in one word, there are people out there that you would never expect. There are people out there who are small business owners, for example, like literally small business owners, like who have a class position, that puts them at odds with any sort of like socialist movement, and yet they see fascism and they recognize it as bad because we live in a post-World War II universe where fascism was on paper defeated. Okay? Some Nazis will even say like, oh, America's like civic nationalism revolves around being anti-Hitler. And they say that in a disparaging way, but like that's a pretty solid civic religion that you could structure your world around. That's just at its core, maybe through some misunderstandings, like a fundamental anti-fascist principle, and that's solid. That's a good line of organizing. That's a good way to push people to your side on this issue, because socialists are uncompromisingly anti-fascist. Marxists are always uncompromisingly anti-fascist. And considering that this is the world that we live in now is not one where fascism is born anew, and people are going, wow, these guys might be a different alternative, a revolutionary alternative that I might actually be on board with. We now know what fascism looks like when left to its own devices. We know what it looks like when it's a form of governance, and we don't like it. Okay, we know what the impact of this is. We know that it means like mass destabilization, a constant expansionist principle. An identity that revolves around this like mythological, ethno-religious, or national superiority that does not actually exist. Anyway, let's see what this guy's saying.
I would describe the Democratic Party as spineless.
Weak. Cowardice.
Disappointing.
Shameful. Crying.
Useless.
Awesome. Weak.
Incompetent.
Let down. Spineless.
The Democratic Party, in one word, lost.
I don't think these guys are card-carrying commies, man. Some of them might be, but I don't think all of them are, okay? And while the No Kings protest might have had a variety of different libs in general, this is the broader sentiment. This is the broadest sentiment expressed at these rallies. We must capture this. We must capture this energy and redirect it into a more successful mechanism of organizing, okay? Because as I said, at the rally to all of the journalists that kept asking me, like, do you think this is good? Do you think this is good? I said over and over again, it's not enough. It's good, but it's not enough. The next step from this point on is to demonstrate power. Okay? Denver No Kings protest maggot eats shit chasing protesters. Wait, is this in Denver? I thought this was in New York. I guess it was in Denver. I saw this clip. It is pretty funny. It's a little sad. It's funny, but it's also a little sad because, like, I don't know. I feel like when I see like an old person fall, it still kind of makes me feel sad about it. It's like seeing like a fat kid get bullied. Maybe because I'm an old person and I see myself falling like in the same way. It is karma though. Let's take a look.
Let's go, Ice!
Yeah, not Mitch McConnell. Not Mitch McConnell. That shit's funny as hell. So you had a bunch of small business tyrants, it seems. And I know there's a little bit of blood in this video. It's not so significant that it's like TOS. I know blood is clearly visible, guys. Shut up. It's not a TOS violation. Calm down. So yeah, these old guys, they try to do like a little counter protest on their own.
Ride your bike, you fag! Go get a job!
This skater guy steals his glasses, and then this guy skids on his own while he's trying to chase him. It's so funny, okay? Dude, I love this because he just literally slides on his face, okay? Oh, God. Oh my Lord. That was crazy. Okay. There was a sheriff's convention this weekend. It was a full of dad cop boys. He just ate it. Now, the second time, someone may or may not have accidentally tripped him. Okay. Because, you know, the second time is much worse. But you'll see in a second. He gets up. He says, you know what? That's not enough for me. Okay. That's not enough for me. I need more. I need more of this. So that's the first down. Second time, I don't know what happened there. I can't tell. I just don't know what happened there, but it just seemed to me like he accidentally slipped and fell again. He accidentally seems to slip and fall. Okay, it must have been the wind type shit, and just pile drives face first into the concrete, into the sidewalk, which is bad. I mean, that's not good. That's not good at all. Okay, that's not good at all. That's really bad, and it's also very scary. Luckily, he's got he's got the hoggiest of all skulls. He's got hog skull. Okay, like perfect hog skull. And what I mean by that is like he might actually f- that concrete up. You know what I mean? The way he just like dove head first into it. Okay, because look, he just gets up, and people at this point. Like people that are holding him at that point are not even like holding him to beat his ass. They're like, dude, stop. Because I looked through this, I watched the video a bunch, okay? And it's very obvious because I was like thinking like, what would I do in this situation? And I probably would go up to him and try to tell him like, dude, you have to stop. Like you are literally like you're in a dangerous situation. And I don't think you actually realize how dangerous of a situation you're in. Okay. And that's like what the people around him are trying to do at that point. Even the guys that are like very clearly a part of the anti-fascist protests, like they're trying to communicate to him that he is in danger. He's going to fall or he's going to like start a mob and get his ass beat.
Hey, get your buddy. Get your buddy.
Back up, man. You ran into me. What the?
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
He just wants his glasses back. I think he wants more than his glasses back. I think he wants to get his get back. And while I, of course, disavow violence, I disavow violence. In a crowded environment like this one, okay, you have no control over the situation. You have no control over the situation whatsoever. You went there to like specifically, to specifically piss off the people that are protesting, and you put yourself in this, you put yourself in this position where it's like very obviously a dangerous environment. Okay. It doesn't help that your politics are also on the wrong side as well. But it's like, even if your politics were on the right side and you went to like a active Nazi rally as an anti-fascist, you know, it would be a little bit more defensible considering that, you know, I agree with the anti-fascists on principle and on the motives, but I would still say like, it's very dangerous to present yourself as a singular force surrounded by a bunch of oppositional figures who will flip and beat the out of you. You know what I mean? Like it's a level of self-preservation. And before people say like victim blaming on this, okay, if he wasn't like, you are better than this, what do you mean? If it wasn't Hasan, stop falling this low, we should not act like MAGA. He uses freedom of speech, tripping him for it to laugh because he failed is not okay, even though he said disgusting stuff. We are better than this. Come on. No, like I said, I disavow it. It's very dangerous. He could have actually f***ed himself up way worse. But my point is, what I'm trying to say is that this is a stupid thing to do regardless. Like you have to be a little bit more self-aware. He thought, being MAGA, that he was an unstoppable force. Okay. and then like a skater guy just like with him. It's like a kid. Like it's very clearly like a teenager who with him, and he doesn't chase him because this is like the most important thing that has been stolen from him, like a familial heirloom or something. He chases him because he feels embarrassed. It's all ego, okay? Before Americans get on their like draconian shit for a brief moment and say like, oh, dude, you know, this is a theft. This is a theft. He has every right to like try to apprehend the person. It's like sometimes the person that is wrong politically could be wronged as well, but also he is not making the situation better for himself at all. Okay? Like if you go there and you try to like antagonize people thinking that like nothing can happen, sometimes things can happen is what I'm saying. And while it is inappropriate, okay, and it's very dangerous to do so, you got to have a little bit better, you got to have some more self-preservation instincts. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Is that, am I crazy? Like, it's common sense, no? Like, you're like actively trying to agitate people, and then you're around teenagers as well. Yeah, one of them is going to with you. 100%. I've been in situations like this. There have been instances where teenagers have tried to with me as well. You just got to avoid it. You have to control yourself, okay? But even his starting position is like, you know, he's behaving like a animal. Don't mention that stream. I'm still mad about it. Lol. Yeah, like the Bill Clinton kid, Matan. When I was at the Writers Guild strikes, he came up and he like tried to do a bit, and I didn't give into it. I didn't like acknowledge him. You know what I mean? And the reason why I didn't do that is because what am I supposed to do? Beat up a teenager? What are you, crazy? No, it's a teenager. It's a little kid. Like, what are you supposed to do? You can't do anything. Like, if the starting point of the story is, yeah, I was harassing a bunch of people and slurring at them, and then a teenager stole my glasses, if that's how that story ended, everyone would look at you and be like, well, okay, you shouldn't have done that then. But a lot of people, for some weird reason, especially liberals, look at the situation and go, well, he was just exercising his free speech. It's actually completely insane that like someone stole his personal possessions. It's like, okay, well, let's dial back a little bit. Okay. If you were to explain this story and you're like, yeah, I wanted to show those goddamn libtards what's up, and I just kept calling them the F slur over and over again, and then like some random teenager stole my glasses, yeah, people would look at you and go, that's a little silly, don't you think? If that's where the story ended, and he didn't like give chase, that's what would have taken place. Dang, free speech means nothing, huh? Brother, that's the most favorable to his position is what I'm saying. But while we can look at something on paper, and say, oh, this on paper looks wrong, human beings don't operate that way, especially in a chaotic environment like a protest where you are very clearly a right-wing counter-protester trying to agitate, okay? That's why I have so much respect for protest marshals, like during the college campus protests that took place against Israel, where they actively would not allow agitators to go into the encampments for this reason. Like, I don't think we need to behave in this like incredibly neurodivergent manner where we're like, well, I'm a rule-abiding citizen and technically he did everything by the book. Like, he was slurring at a bunch of anti-fascist protesters, and that's totally and that's just like constitutionally protected act of free speech. Like, I mean, yeah, it is. But that's just not how things work in the real world, is my point. If someone were to walk up to a bunch of like Black Lives Matter protesters and started saying the N-word at them, what do you think would happen? For example, right? Marshals are cops? No, protest marshals are not cops in the student encampment chatter. What are you talking about? They're just the protest organizers. I think the counter for the other person that the counter for the other person that tripped him, who probably will get arrested if he hasn't been already, like they probably found who he is and they arrested him subsequently. But the if I was on his defense team, I'd be like, well, I saw, you know, a dangerous person chasing someone, and I wanted to safely try to stop them in that pursuit before it like got out of hand or something. You know what I mean? That's probably what they would say. But ultimately, a lot of these other people, what is this, brother? I'm not trying to be that person. I'm simply trying to tell you, please don't say shit like this. This isn't a clip for. This isn't for a clip. This is for you and our community to avoid it in the future because this is how people own you. No, I don't. Okay, I'm gonna repeat myself one more time. I don't think it's appropriate for someone to trip an old person and have them pummel their skull in the concrete. But beyond that, okay, there are numerous points of de-escalation coming from the person, the individual party that was wronged, where this could have been handled very differently. Okay, for example, number one, he doesn't have to try and agitate people, right? He doesn't have to try and agitate people at a No Kings protest, but he did, right? He did do that. And then secondly, when some skater teenager steals his glasses to f with him, he doesn't have to give chase instantly. Okay? Like, that's what I'm saying. We are becoming like incredibly we're looking at this in this like very black and white way where I'm saying human beings, especially in a chaotic environment like this, don't operate that way. Self-preservation is important. Okay? Part of the reason why he doesn't have any self-preservation in this moment, even though like all these other people are trying to stop him at this point, they're not trying to beat his ass. They're trying to be like, dude, stop. Like, you're gonna get in trouble. Okay? They are trying to separate him from a much larger crowd. I can't believe how much this funniest video derailed the stream because chatters are so rule of law coded. Not my kind of autism. No, a lot of people look at that and they think like, no, this is you must condemn and then move on. You know what I mean? This unlock feels manufactured to get you to over-explain why we don't care that someone defended themselves against a homophobic harasser. Yeah, I just like.
Hey, get your buddy. Get your buddy.
Back up, man. You ran into me. What the?
Hey, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Trip his ass. Trip his ass. Fuck you. Fuck pussy. Get out of here, dude. What are you doing? Get out of here.
Like the last dude in the Bernie Bro shirt is very me coded in this situation. Like I was looking at this and I was like, that's exactly what I would be trying to do to him. Like in this moment to be like, dude, stop. Like you don't understand. Like this is a massive crowd that you are surrounded by. I don't think you realize like with your lead poisoned brain, you're seeing red currently, but this is going to go very south for you. Okay. He's like, dude, they're gonna kill you. Get out of here. Like, stop. Like, that's what it is. That's what's going on. They're trying to de-escalate. And he's like, nope. He's like, nope. Look, he's de-escalating. The guy finally understands what's going on and reaches back and is like, okay, never mind. I just want my glasses or something like that.
I don't want you to get hurt more than you are. I don't know where they are. Buy new glasses.
The worst part is the boy probably traveled to Denver for a Giants game and they lost too. It's wild to me that the party at Castle Doctrine and self-defense laws don't think it'll get used against them. Yeah, this is what I have. This is unironically one of the things that I try to describe in like the Kyle Rittenhouse situation as well. Once like the first shot is fired, okay, when you have a weapon, then the second person that tries to apprehend you with a skateboard, when you shoot that person, I know the courts obviously weighed against my position on this, but it was the same principle in the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. In a protest, people don't know what the f is going on. They just see a dude with an AR-15 shooting at people, and they want to try and stop that person from killing others. Okay, they don't know what your background is. They don't know if you were like initially apprehended or not. You know, and the same goes here as well. You're like trying to swing at a bunch of people. They are going to try to stop you. They are going to try and stop you because they think you are trying to attack a crowd of people. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like a lot of people in the moment from afar, a lot of people don't realize what the mentality is in that very moment of a lot of the onlookers. Okay. For a lot of people that are there, they just see like this one random guy trying to swing at a bunch of out there. Y'all need to watch that new Netflix documentary, The Perfect Neighbors. So good about a case that they try to use your standing ground and lost. Unavoidable, unfortunately, unless we didn't allow random people to carry assault rifles in large crowds. So yeah, impossible. I feel like No King's a bit of a leftist litmus test. Like if you think hating everything and being hypercritical of people who are liberal anti-fascists is a way to reserve revolutionary purity, that's just silly. 100%. And this is like, ironically enough, this is what was like kind of blackpilling for me the other day when I was like complaining and being like, oh my God, the left is just like so unbearable. I hate the left. I hate socialism. You did it. Remember that like little rant that ironically enough, everyone online thought was because of like Kaya or something and had nothing to do with that. It was just like me doing political commentary about the left's inability to seize the moment and seize the opportunity to move the needle in the appropriate direction. Had nothing to do with like drama slop or anything like that. And it was really funny. People are like, oh, he's crashing out. Like his own fan base hates him because of we got to him. His own fan base hates him because of Kaya or whatever it's so stupid. People are so dumb sometimes and so easily susceptible to stupid ass narratives. It was actually about not even necessarily about Graham Plattner, but more so about how like hypercritical leftists oftentimes will just like write off people for wrongs that they've committed in the past without actually recognizing that like you need to win everybody. Okay. You need to win as many people as possible to your side. The reason why I always go back to Gaza on this front is because there has been some success in this initiative. And that success happened after decades of no movement whatsoever. Okay. Like you have to get every single person on your side. It's that simple. There's no other way to win. Do you think MAGA Republicans shy away from people when they go, I don't know, this guy might be a woke pussy libtard actually? No, they don't. They love it. They love it when like some weirdo is outed for like being a and then goes, oh, I'm Christian now and I love Donald Trump. And they're like, oh, hell yeah, brother. Welcome to the battle. Now, I'm not saying we should do the same thing. Okay. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you have to understand if like people are sincerely making change within themselves, if people are sincerely coming to your side, there is no, like you are not serving anybody if you are just immediately casting them aside and saying, nope, you're imperfect or you've done horrible things in the past. You obviously, people will grift, but trust me, they're not grifting to the left. You need to understand that. Maybe in the future, if there is a real sea change and we go back to peak woke or something, maybe then you'll see people grifting to the left. But even then, at most grift to liberalism and not to the left. No one grifts to the left, okay? Everybody hates the left, including leftists. That's it. We need to stop being so purity driven. It's not. It's poisonous for organizing. It's poisonous for bringing people on board. We just have like there's a reason why a lot of people associate us with like hyper woke, annoying nuisances. Okay. It's just silly. It's silly. Bring people on board. Okay. Always be accepting of those who are open-minded. You are not cooler than anybody else because you arrived at this position before anybody else did. Okay? And at most, and this is something that I've said so many times throughout my professional broadcasting career, and I can't believe I constantly find myself repeating this. Okay? No one is born perfect. No one is born perfect. No one is born with a copy of Das Kapital, and everyone is on their own journey of learning. Okay? And you have to always factor in the social environment that people are brought up in and what they perceive to be right and what they perceive to be wrong. And if you, for example, immediately go, oh, every veteran is a child annihilator, them, you literally are just writing off so many people without even factoring in how the average American perceives them. Okay. You are so echo chambered that you cannot see the world outside of your immediate circle of friends. You have to always have a broader outlook. You always have to understand like how people arrive at their positions they've arrived at. And you have to be as charitable as you possibly can be until someone shows you that they are not to be trusted. You just got to chip away at it slowly but surely. It always goes back to the same thing I always say: be normal, be normal, be normal, be normal, be normal. Okay? Be normal and understand that everyone has a different starting point. Everyone has different opinions. You need to have a better, broader outlook. YouGov has 9% of respondents said that they went. 18% of all Democrats. That's just massive. Do you know someone who participated in the No Kings protest on Saturday, October 18th? Yes, including me, 9%. Yes, but not me, 24%. No, 56%. Not sure, 11%. Do you approve or disapprove of the No Kings protest held nationwide on Saturday, October 18th? Strongly approve, 36%. Some would approve, 12%. Some would disapprove, 9%. Strongly disapprove, 23%. Not sure, 21%. I mean, these numbers might come across as small, but they're actually pretty significant. Okay, because this is the entire population. Okay, this is 2,000 adults surveyed. Obviously, it's a very good sample size. That's a huge percentage of the population. If you look at the estimated turnout per capita, it seems 1 out of every 153 people in California participated in this protest. Nebraska was the most sparsely attended, with 1 out of every 4,000 people. Oklahoma, 1 out of every 1,793 people. South Dakota, 1 out of every 1,693 people. Okay. But you look at Montana, 1 out of every 65. That's crazy. The success of mobilization is not measured by its approval rating, though. For sure. Absolutely. But I do think this is a good sign. In Vermont, 1 out of every 23 person participated in this. The reality of the matter is you never get this level, this high of a participation for a protest. Like, that's crazy. Because protests are a fraction of the people that go out and vote, for example. This is huge. It's the first step, but it was a necessary first step. And if it stops here, then it's a failure for sure. It can't stop here. This is an opportunity to organize, okay? Because power never concedes without demand. But aside from the demand, we also have to show that we have power as well. And as the large majority of the population, if not almost 90+% of the population, are actual wage laborers, that is the only point of pushback that we have.